Hi everybody, and welcome to Astro Updates with Gretchen Hidell. I'm going to be doing an astrological update for the week of March 17th to March 23rd. Happy St. Paddy's Day, and on St. Patrick's Day on March 17th, Mercury will finally be turning direct in the sign of Pisces. Hopefully you just spent the last 3 weeks learning the lessons of this Mercury retrograde. As I had stated in a previous blog, this Mercury retrograde was going to be a little bit more emotional than others. Not everybody feels Mercury retrograde, but certainly if you felt it, and you'll know, as to what your last 3 weeks were like, it was definitely a much more emotional time. It depends if you have any planets in Pisces or what house the planet of Pisces falls on, but luckily things will start to turn direct and forward motion will be happening in that sign, so that's always a good thing. The planets don't just stop and start instantly, so it will take, I always say give it 5 to 7 days after the planet turns direct for it to really start getting up to speed again and start moving in a forward motion. Then on Wednesday, March 20th, we're going to be having the spring equinox, which is when the sun moves into the sign of Aries. Not only will the sun move into Aries, but the very next day on Thursday, March 21st, Venus will move into Aries also. We had a time period where there were actually 6 planets in the sign of Pisces. So they're all going to be slowly drifting into Aries over the next few weeks, and that's a pretty good thing. So with the sun and Venus into Aries, Aries is definitely the god of war. So we're going to be feeling a little bit more, we are moving out of a period of time where it was a little bit fuzzy, a little bit confusing, a little bit disconnected, nebulous. Great time for dreaming and for creativity when all the planets were in Pisces, but now we're going to be taking some of that creativity and forming action with it. So this is a good time to start moving forward, to start planning for things and implementing them. Aries people typically are great at starting things, not great at finishing things. Aries tend to be leaders, motivators, coaches, teachers, people who lead other people, entrepreneurs. And certainly if you have any Aries in your chart, this will be a little bit of an extra fire. In fact, if you're a fire sign, Leo or Sagittarius, you'll also be feeling this as well. It depends on where Aries falls within your own astrological chart to know how this will affect you personally. But generally speaking, the psychic atmosphere is going to be starting to pick up a little bit. There's going to be a little bit more pep in our step. And as spring starts to come in the northern hemisphere, we're going to start feeling that as well. Then on Friday, March 22nd, there's going to be a conjunction between Mars and Uranus. And that's going to be an interesting day because there's actually going to be tons of astrological activity. The moon is going to be highlighting many different planets on that day. And when we're talking about Mars and Uranus, Mars is the god of war and Uranus is the great awakener. So expect some unexpected events for sure. Expect the unexpected. And also just sort of, I would be very open, play it by ear, because this could be sort of a little bit of fireworks almost. It would be possible to potentially even hear of like shakeups, literal shakeups like earthquakes or lightning or any kind of thing like that. But this could be a little bit jarring, the sensation of this, of these 2 planets meeting up. So I would just be very open. People who have problems with anxiety or electrical disorders of the body, like palpitations or seizures, may also have problems around this cycle. Again, it's shaking up, so it's nerves. It can be tension. A great way to work this out would be to exercise. However, with something unexpected, make sure that you're doing it in a safe way. You're not taking too many risks because this could be a little bit of being prone to be accident prone, actually. And then on Saturday, on Friday, very late at night, there's going to be a void of course moon cycle, and it's going to be void of course in the sign of Leo. And that's going to be a really long void of course cycle. Void of course moon cycles are not great for starting new things. It's almost sort of like a Mercury retrograde. So very late at night on Friday the 22nd, all day long on Saturday the 23rd, and then into Sunday the 24th, it's going to be a long void of course cycle. In addition to that, on Saturday the 23rd, Jupiter is going to be quincunx Saturn, which is obstacles and delays and whatever. This is not a great weekend for starting new projects. It's going to be more of a good weekend to finish up old projects, like if you still have to prepare your taxes or do some spring cleaning around the house or whatever. It's a little bit more like that type of energy. Jupiter and Saturn being quincunx with one another is not necessarily a great thing because that's obstacles, and Jupiter's rules over good fortune, and having your good fortune messed with, I think, is not necessarily a great thing. So I would wait to do anything big until next week. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. I'm Gretchen Hidell. This was Astrological Update. Thank you so much for checking me out. You can check out my website, gretchenhidell.com, or my blog, astro-updates.blogspot.com. Have a great week.